And that's just part of the system. That's just one way. And in some ways, this invitation is to see this or feel this and to both go beyond just the survival program, and in some ways it's also a higher survival program because this has gotten too much, kind of self-involved. It's become super narcissistic, and even its programs of using the best frontal cortex ways of figuring it out have created a chaotic world and our own neurotic, stressed out, worried selves. So this freedom, in some ways, is simply including the environment which is part of us and not losing the separate programs, but not making them the representational system, the egoic subsystems have to know what's real, what's true. That there is another kind of knowing that includes that information as needed, but it also is already in connection with the environment and doesn't see it as threatening all the time and doesn't need to scan to know. So there's some way that, air is a good metaphor, that air is part of the environment and it's part of us. There's an inside and an outside, which is true, and yet there's some kind of way that, there's inside and outside are part of the same. So there's some living, subtler level that we're not separate from our environment. That there's some connection. And we're separate. And it's that kind of natural way of connecting to both that living, life living itself, outside and inside, the connection, the interdependence, interbeing, and the separation, and the connection, and the boundlessness, the emptiness, formlessness, and the form, and the connection to all of life, and seeing that same in everyone else. That's the natural, that's kind of the natural way it is. And in some ways that which is living will never die. That part of that which was always living, the membrane will definitely come into being and return, but that part of the non-dying is the connection to the field. Even if you go down to the field at the level of what's that made of, and you get to this field, this quantum field, which is not separate. That if you looked at this table and the air, this leg and the air under electron microscope, there's no difference. It's mostly space. There's no line here. At that level, and there's this level. So it's almost multi-dimensional levels of consciousness at the same time. So it's not either spaciousness or body. It's both and multiple levels. And this is not the place to look in this box for the manager. So that's the story.